Okay, so I've gessoed both sides. You can still see that, but I'm not too worried about that whatsoever. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm actually going to put some coffee water on it, just to, I'm just going to kind of drip it on, like here, there, and everywhere. And then just let it move around. And just form some markings. Kind of would have been better if the paper was a little bit crinkled up as well, because I think that would have been cool. Right, just let it run around the page, and I'm going to put the heat tool on. I'm actually going to keep this on so that you can see how it looks, how it's going to look. Okay, so it's not doing what I wanted it to do, so I'm just gonna dab a little bit here and there, like that. And I will dry this off screen because it is quite annoying when you're just listening to the heat gun. And mine's really noisy. I know that the Tim Holtz one is really quiet. Okay, I will dry that, and then I'll do the other side, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I have this, it's all dry now. The coffee come out quite nice. Prefer that side, so I think I'm going to keep that as the outside. So that'll be like that. Right, I've got some of this sage acrylic paint that I used on my pages. So I'm just going to put a little bit on here, and I'm going to use this again to kind of just dab it on, but I'm just going to, just a little bit, some water. Get my paintbrush just to move it around a little bit. Just want a little bit of colour on there as well. And I don't think I'm going to put the yellow on, even though it kind of turned out okay. And I did have a few comments on that saying like, oh my god, you know, I kind of thought, what were you doing? But it kind of turned out okay. Yeah, I'm not doing that again because it did actually give me a little bit of anxiety. Now, I'm just gonna, again, I'll probably let that move around as well. I think this might be the only colour, the only other colour that I'm going to use. Because I just quite kind of liked that, you know, it's the sage. I expected it to be a little bit darker, but it's not. But I'd still like the colour. Right, let's sit that there. And I'm going to dry this and I'll be back. Okay, so I've done both sides with the sage. I did video, but I videoed it in portrait, and I'm not going to add that because it will just confuse the video. So now I'm going to come in with my inks again, my distress ink. This is Vintage Photon. I've got weight on it, and just some water. And this again, I'm going to try and get some of that off, like the drippy parts, just to get that kind of look, because if it's too wet sometimes it just kind of blobs. Okay. These videos will be in a playlist called Junk Mail Junk Journal, and I'm hoping this might be the last video, but if not, there'll be 4 because this is number 3. Okay, so I'm going to dry that and I'll be back. So that's dry. Turn it over, do the other side. Like I said in the other 2 videos, this is so relaxing. When I stopped last night, it was because I'd sat for so long and my back was really hurting, and but my brain wanted to carry on, but my body was saying, I don't think so, Yvonne, you need a rest. I'd literally been at that for about 8 hours yesterday. Like, when I say solid, I mean just stopping to make food and stopping to, you know, go to the loo and stuff like that. I just literally stayed in here all day just playing. So I'm going to dry this and I'll be back. Okay, so that's both sides done and dried, and I'm loving how that came out, sorry. So I need to put something down there because you know, to give some stability to this, and I'm not sure whether I will just add a piece of fabric on the outside and the inside, or shove something inside there, because I don't really want to tear, like cut any of it, not unless I just cut the one side, because I am going to stitch along here and there. And what I'll do is I'm going to keep these open so I can stuff some more things inside, like extra photos and maybe some journaling of some sort. Let me think. I'm going to have a think about that. So yeah, I'm going to just cut along one side. I need to just break off a piece of my craft knife so that it's nice and sharp to go through. There we go. Okay, right, that's actually come away, but I can still put that back in there. So I need to put something in there, which I'm just going to use some fabric. I'm just going to tear a couple of strips. Where's my scissors? Here we go. Sorry, you can't really see what I'm doing, but I'm just tearing off this. Just so much of it, I'll probably end up dropping things on the floor. So just want, this is just some cotton fabric, right, which is gonna, well, let's straighten it off a little bit. So I just want that in there. Now, is that gonna lift up? Better put a bit of glue in there. Forgot to put the lid on this last night, so it's probably all blocked up. Here we go. Need to try and unblock that. There we go. If you've got Fabri-Tac, use that. But you all know I don't use it because it stinks and it gives me a headache. Right. So just making sure that that is down the middle. Hoping this works. There we go. So that's that side. I'm just thinking, do I need to, I don't really need to do both sides, I don't think. Not really, not really. So, do I need to glue that little bit down there? Just having to think outside the box here. I do want a little bit of glue, so I'm just gonna oh, and where's my little strip gone? There we go. Right. You do need to put my little strip back in, so that kind of goes that way. So I'm just going to run a piece along there. Jeez, it's like a jigsaw puzzle now. And put that there. And another little piece along there, because I want to keep that as a gusset. And then I'm going to let that dry for a few seconds, and then I'm going to stitch just along here and there so that I've still got my pockets here. So I'll let that dry, I'll stitch that, and I'll come back. So I've sewn the top and the bottom, and you see that I put some, you see that's still drying. I'm not really fast at the moment, I'm waiting for it to dry because I need to get this done. So I'm going to do some random stamping. I've got some archival ink in potting soil. Now these, I believe, were Ball Bunny stamps. You can see I'm very good at keeping my stamps in the pack. Well, some of the packaging is actually like gone years ago. So that's the markings on them. And then we have that. And then I've got this one, which is a Kaiser Craft, and it's not even in its right thingy bobber. So it's just like a crackled effect. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not putting it on a block. I am just going to do some random stamping. I'll do that on the outside and the inside. Turn that over. There's no direction to these, so it doesn't matter whether you're doing it upside down, well, on your page that's upside down. Again, I find doing this with these type of stamps really therapeutic. Right, so that's that one done, and I think I'm going to come in with the dotty one. Just a little bit here and there. I hope I remember to press record. There we go. The other side. Then I'm going to use this one. I don't even know if you can see that, but it's that marking. I will take some close-up photos of this because I'm not really sure whether it's all getting picked up on the camera. And there we go. I might actually come in with that, but I am going to need a block to do that. So I'm just going to pop that on there. And there we go. Maybe a little piece down there. Okay, that's the stamping done with, I think. Now I need to think of, I'm going to ink up around the edges first actually. Again, just using my vintage photo to do this. And I want to do down the center. And the inside of that as well. Oops. So there we go. That's that done. What I need to do now is clean my mess up and I'll be back.